2 seconds faster would have been nice.
I think the only way we get that 2 seconds is maybe if we get that heal grenade in a little bit earlier, maybe if we start the soldier and people could push in a little bit more aggressively. I don't know. Maybe that's where we just, you know, talking about from our perspective, where could we find the 2 seconds? That might have been our opportunity to do it. But honestly, like the biggest fuck up on that round was quite simply at the start. With the Reinhardt charging in and nothing punishing him. That was just, that was literally shocking to me to see.
And I'll boost the fire, and we'll dive in.
Want me to go to Junkrat?
Okay, let's prepare for the next round. So now we're actually opting away from the Ana.
Dive comp is, but we need like the Winston for, because they're gonna do probably.
So this guy's proposing dive comp. Now I'm not sure what's prompted our change here onto the Mercy, but I'm perfectly fine with it, especially if this guy's playing Pharah. Pharah-Mercy, very, very strong.
Ana instead of Lucio then?
And when I am playing Pharah-Mercy, I have very, very simple priorities. Namely, I'm going to keep this Pharah alive and make her super, super effective.
Or should we stick to?
Part of the reason why I picked this video is because it gives me an opportunity to talk about Pharah-Mercy a little bit. And yesterday I was talking a lot about Pharah in terms of like you want to be poking out, you want to be very aware of like line of sight, where's safe, where isn't. Mercy gives you a big safety net when you're doing that. You can poke around a lot more, you can be in the open a lot more, unfortunately. Oh no! This is why we don't want to be fancy with our positioning at the start. Because this makes us feel really, really stupid, doesn't it? Like, we don't want to be messing about. We don't want to be playing around here. This is why I always try and make sure that I'm in position to leave the door before starting the game, because this feels bad, man. And by the way, just a small tip, when we're leaving the spawn, and if you're leaving by the upper door, always have your heal field on, at least like, or just be damage field for like the first rocket, and then instantly swap to heal, because you are in line of sight of their entire team. You will be taking damage. Okay, we can heal this up. Winston's badly overextended. We can easily deal with this. We want to actually go and help pick that up a little bit, maybe. This is actually very vulnerable for us as well. Oh boy, it's time to talk about line of sight. And pretty much the same concept as what we had yesterday. Hey, with another one. Yom Knight. Yom R Knight. Whatever. Amazing name. Very easy to say. Yom Knight. Welcome to the many, my friend. Thank you so much for your support. Definitely makes coaching the many worthwhile, especially if people keep subbing like this. It's really, really good for the series. Anyway. So there's a temptation when you're playing Pharah-Mercy to just leap into the air for no reason. But you notice, where it's safe for us right now, it's either like a 2-second drop straight down, it's drifting over here, which takes friggin' forever, it's drifting over here, which takes friggin' forever. Nowhere is safe for us at the moment. We are just free damage for them. Don't be afraid to cancel your charges early. And like, don't be afraid to cancel your Guardian Angels a bit early, just to stay very low, and don't dash into the air for just no reason at all. Your beam has a surprising amount of range, and it's like an elastic strap. People can go out of range for it for a second or two, and then it will snap afterwards. Be very wary of following Pharahs in stuff like that. This Pharah also should be turning around and just firing a rocket at the walls behind you, just to clear all the Metro shit. Still, the Pharah does a good job. He actually uses that opportunity to kill the Soldier 76 because Soldier isn't pressuring the Pharah anymore. She's pressuring you instead, which is okay for the Pharah. That means Pharah lands the rockets, gets the kill, no problem. Good, 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 good. Everyone pushes in. I'm fine with this prioritization now. We're just focusing on keeping mostly the DPS in the backline alive. I'd like to see us pick up the Ana before we keep damage boosting this, just to make sure Ana's safe. Remember, when you're playing Mercy, when you're playing any support alongside Ana, Ana cannot heal herself without using her heal grenade, and she really doesn't want to use it on herself. That's just a big waste. So you want to be topping her off whenever you can.
I'm at 82.
I'm at 90.
There we go. Don't worry about being unable to follow that far. That's just a risky maneuver anyway right now.
Deep is gonna ult 'cause they don't have a Rhyme.
And she's come back to you. Good, 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 good. And also, we want to be playing careful. And I think you mentioned it at some point that, you know, just everyone stay on the point. I have res. Because what we want to be doing now is exactly what you're doing. Is staying a couple of meters behind the point. So that if they fire all of their ultimates onto the payload, and everyone just dies, you can instantly pick them back up and keep the game going. Because we are trying to capitalize now as hard as we can on overtime pressure. We are playing super careful. We're trying to heal this up. I actually don't like what this Reinhardt did right now, which is he tried to back up to get to you, I think. He didn't need to do that. He's left his entire team vulnerable to God knows what. Let's say their Reinhardt has an Earth Shatter. He just Earth Shatters right now, catches the entire team, everyone dies. We have to use our res for something that we didn't need to do. Him backing up doesn't really like make you any safer because the rest of the team is more vulnerable because they could all die. And it doesn't make Anna's healing on him any easier. He just has to sort of use the payload for a little bit of cover, but still has his barrier, so he can still sort of tuck in more towards the bookstore or just stay nearer the payload, I think, and survive that. Okay, Mei's ulted. Good. This is why we want to be here. This is why we want to be in this position, because if they kill everyone, then we have no problems. 2 people are dead. Res. Good. Good. Reason why we don't wait any longer is because we are in danger, effectively. If we die without losing our res, we lose the game. Because the second Mei's run back here, we just go, nope, we're done. Res. Tempo res. We don't see Mei's hit point bar there, I think. We don't get to see how much health... No, we can't see how much health she has. We have no idea of Mei's status, how much stuff she's got available. We don't want to engage that. Run in, get the res, just in case we die. Tempo res keeps everyone alive. Anna can now provide more healing. Pharah's back in the fight. They've already used their resources. We haven't used all of ours yet. Good. Good res, good positioning. Now we want to be more involved in the fight, doing emergency healing. We want to split away from the Anna, pick Pharah up. And we want to actually, in situations like this is where Pharah, like, the opposite side of Pharah-Mercy becomes so prevalent and strong. In instances like this, I like to be looking up. And the second this Pharah starts going into the air, we want to be dashing up there, because while we're in the air, we are totally safe from this guy who's trying to just bash us around. Luckily, D.Va's also in good position. Anna dropped a bit low there. We saw Anna dropping low. Good healing on Anna. Good target prioritization. Keep the Anna alive. Anna can keep everyone else alive. No problem. Very well done. Coffee?
45.
Shot Junkrat on bombs.
Winston's just raging forward, but he's not breaking the umbilical. Remember, I'll say this time and again, and when we get to the Winston video, that I'll inevitably do at some point. Remember, umbilical cord between Winston and Anna. Never sever it. Never sever that. And, well, not for a long period of time at the very least.
Can't heal.
Damage amping the Pharah, perfectly fine. Don't bother trying to heal the Reinhardt, it's got anti-healing on him. Like, always check. Like, just make a mental note of trying to check a little bit. Whenever you see that. Sides coming in. We don't have any, we don't have res, so running this way actually isn't that effective. We want to be in a location where we can actually provide as much support as possible to the team while staying relatively safe, and we would have been safer on this side. The enemy team is all coming in from this angle. This bubble doesn't defend much. Luckily, like, D.Va just saves everyone like a fucking champion. But we would have been safer just staying on this side. Like, there's no reason to cross over here. The reason why we're a bit safer is even if Winston jumps in this way, like, there's just no other damage following them up. We have Reinhardt's barrier to cower behind, we have D.Va protecting us, we're totally safe here. Winston can't really out DPS Mercy's healing anyway, so if he's trying to kill a target that you're healing, it takes him like 3 years to do, basically. Because Mercy's healing is like 50 per second, Winston's damage is about 54 per second, so you can imagine dealing 4 damage per second. I think we did the math on this before, it's like 20 seconds. Which you can imagine is not very quick. Okay, our ultimate's almost ready. I'm now thinking about our res. So we want to be playing it safe. Let's get our res up. Okay.
Sorry guys, I should have.
This is when I'm pressing Z. Good. You're letting the team know, hey, we got these resources. If these 2 people die, good. Perfectly fine with that res.
Sorry guys, I should have charged.
Because basically now the enemy team has so much more to deal with, and we might not have gotten a better res situation. They have a Reinhardt in their backline, Pharah's back in the fight, and they've just spent resources thinking that, oh, we're going to clean up this fight. Winston's trying to knock people off, so I'm perfectly fine with us hugging this for now as well. It sounds risky because Anna's right there, and she could heal grenade us, for example, and cause us some problems, but we can't leave the payload. Always going to make sure, play better safe than sorry, stick on the payload as much as we can. Now that everyone's nice and safe, Winston's out of that form, we can follow the Pharah up to a little bit of safety. We can go and try and save this guy. Ah, fire strike comes through. Feels bad, man. Still okay. We're still perfectly fine. Luckily, their Reinhardt died as well in the overextension. Keep tunneling, healing. We're going to be talking about prioritizing healing and damage boost sort of in the next half. Otherwise, very good. Like, this is perfectly fine. I'd say positioning is actually one of your lowest concerns. The only thing that really worried me is not being ready to go out the front door and just drifting up towards the Pharah in that first half. If you actually are attacking King's Row with a Pharah-Mercy combo, the best thing to do is actually hug the left on the hotel side. And that gives you a lot of cover because most teams defend from the point itself. So most of their defense will be concentrated on the point. By hugging the hotel, you have yourself a nice big wall between you and them. If they aren't hugging the point, if they are to where the soldier was standing, for example, which is on that little platform area, sort of on the right side if you're attacking, then he's very vulnerable, very exposed to Pharah. Pharah can use the statue for cover. It also gives you a good line of sight going over the wall as well, so you can clear symmetric turrets. You can knock their Reinhardt through the wall, for example, if they're too far forward. It's all very, very good. Hey, great content. Best Overwatch code on Twitch, YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you for the sub and the donation, man. It's hugely appreciated. Really, really, really is appreciated.
Actually, so May.
But now we're in a really good position, right? Because we turned a 0 time into 6-0 points. And that was, like, again, you did a really good job there. I think you did an okay... You didn't make any major mistakes there. Your team played pretty well. Like, they were playing like a coordinated unit, getting value out of their ultimates. But now we have a big ask for ourselves. Now we have to defend.
Basically, one by one when they come in, unless they're doing.
So this lad is trying to teach people, teach this May how to wall. Okay, the way that you actually do this is you stand here where we're standing now as May, and you put the wall sideways. The reason why we do that is because nothing can really shoot us, and we're perfectly safe. We just wait here, wait for someone to go through, put the wall up, and then freeze them. May does not want to be over here because you think about the line of sight. She's now vulnerable to absolutely everything. Okay, we don't want to be healing this guy. Honestly, like right now, I'm actually looking at the team lineup. Do we have a full team lineup somewhere? Keep going back.
Yeah, just go May.
We have a Pharah.
So we can...
I don't like what this Pharah... Okay. We want to be with the Pharah. And Pharah should be over towards this side, actually. Not trying to do what the fuck she's doing now. Because, again, this is this concept of pressure. We actually have a huge amount of pressure in keeping them out of this choke point. Huge amounts of pressure. Because that's what May generates. Like, they can't safely attack through this angle as long as May is alive. They can't just run through it. That's pressure. That's just pushing them back, right? It's pressure. That's why it's called pressure, guys. Okay? So, we want to capitalize on that by having damage also going through that choke point. As long as all 6 of us are alive, they cannot just run through here without feeling like a right bunch of numpties getting split in half and instantly killed, because we have all the damage there. We have Reinhardt there. We have Pharah there shooting people. We have a damage-damped Pharah killing the shit out of everything. We just want to make sure that they can't get through there.
Yeah, it's a widow.
So the fact that Pharah is sort of pissing around actually really annoys me, because that's minimizing our effectiveness.
You gotta save your walls for the picks.
May instantly takes a shitload of damage, walls a bit badly just because she's out of position. Pharah's busy dying back here, not really achieving much of anything. Pharah goes down. This is why you stick with your team. That was a good wall. Good, good, good. They have a Widowmaker, so we want to stay nice and tucked in, nice and safe. Okay, not much we can heal there at the moment. Perfectly fine with us putting the back barrier on that. I'd actually like to see us pulling back and going and healing Anna up, actually. I don't like us going this way. This is just asking to get shot in the back of the head. It's also blocking Anna's line of sight, which is something you don't want to be doing. I would like to see us go back through. Anna is in no immediate danger. Like, Anna can safely stay tucked back here. The only reason she has to run forward is because we actually end up blocking her line of sight. So now she can't see Reinhardt. We have Mercy blocking this avenue, and we have D.Va blocking this avenue. So now she has to run forward to try and get to people on the front line, try and get to the Reinhardt. And that's just caused by the direction we choose to run. Small decisions, big impact. Perfectly fine with us going over here. Now we just instantly have to back off. Now I would be looking for Pharah. The second I actually reach here, I'd be going, okay, shit. Where's Pharah? Pharah's over here. We dash to this. When you're in danger, we put the heal thing on there and we dash over here. Make sure, by the way, if you haven't already, change the setting where Guardian Angel prioritizes the target you're healing. Turn that off. You want to be able to heal a target and Guardian Angel somewhere else at the same time. Very, very important to do. So she's perfectly fine. We want to be dashing to Pharah, because that'll put us nice and safe on the point, get us away from the fight as quickly as possible, and give Pharah that extra safety. I don't know why we're dashing back in. We're just asking to get slaughtered by the Widowmaker. This is just mispositioning by our Anna. We don't want to be chasing after that. Like, you could have just died here. We almost did. This is a Widowmaker shot. Pretty goddamn confident that was a Widow shot that brought us almost down to death. A better Widowmaker would have just killed us there. We want to be making sure that the Pharah's capable of doing stuff. We don't want to res just yet. That said, D.Va is in a bit of a dicey situation. We're actually in a good position now. We want to be pulling back, playing safe, playing safe, playing safe. D.Va's over-engaged at the moment. The second that the Pharah went down, she needed to be pulling back because, hey, we've got a drop in pressure.
I'm awake.
Healing, healing, healing. Okay. People starting to go down. Now it's getting a bit danger. Don't go for the heal here. Oh, no. No. Let him die. Let him die. Oh. Okay.
Oh, damn, sorry.
I died. The fucking widow of all.
We actually over-healed. So what's happening here? This is when you make a call to your team and you say, Anna, go fight. D.Va should be fighting on the point. Reinhardt should be fighting on the point. They all should be fighting on the point because you are safe in here. Nothing is actually threatening us at the moment. We are perfectly safe in a location where we can just stay tucked away. If everyone dies fast enough on the point, we pick up 3 people instantly. So the death call is actually a very important thing as a Mercy, to be able to turn around to your team and say, just die, just fight and die. That was a very bold dash. With sights active, there's no way we're surviving that dash. Anything I missed here? Yeah, so once that sights goes off, this is done. This is just finished. We can't stall this anymore with Soldier coming around here with sights active. We have no cover. We just run. We're out. We are finished here.
They got us, that's okay.
I'm assuming it's in Mercy settings. Yes, it's in Mercy settings.
So we could clear them off the point.
So yeah, you wanted to... Yeah, the big thing there was just you wanted to say, okay, everyone, fight on point and die. That's when you res. That's how, like, the pros use Mercy all the time. Literally, when they have res, they just focus on fighting on the point. Try and fight as hard as they can, engage ridiculously hard, and then try and intentionally, like, die as well. And it sounds a bit crazy, but they try and take a lot of damage to die because they know they're instantly going to be picked up the moment it's opportune. And if 1 or 2 people die, but a couple of people survive, then it gets really awkward. Then someone's on low hit points when you res a bunch of people, and it's not quite as effective as just the instant big healing you can get.
Nice.
Otherwise, hey, feels pretty good, man. We win. Like, they actually just get caught off by the D.Va bomb. I think they just overreact to it. D.Va just drops in behind them. They panic. They don't get on the point. And we win. Because the enemy team lose sight of the objective. That's why you got to keep the objective in mind. I said I was going to talk about healing priority to damage amp priority. And so I'm going to do that now while play. Actually, let's cast play the game, because I didn't cast one yesterday, I think. So let's see, ladies and gents, where play the game's going. I bet you it's going to be going on that Pharah, the nano boosted Pharah. If it's not, I'll be very, very sorely surprised. And honestly, that should have gone to you, because that was your fucking ultimate. So here we go. Cusper, play the game on the Pharah. Let's see where it is. Is it the one I expected? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe it is. She's getting set up. She's in perfect position here. No one has noticed the threat. Dropping in from above. Justice reigns over, gets 1, gets 2, gets 3 kills instantly, gets a 4th, stays alive due to that nano boost, keeping them up and running, gets themselves a 5-kill play of the game there, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to you purely due to this beautiful son of a bitch here on the Anna. Very, very well done. Like, that was yours. That was yours. That was very, very good. I was very impressed with that. Okay. I'm going to bring Twitch chat back in. Let's say hello, Twitch chat. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Oh, God, thank you for the thrust noises. Okay. So let's talk about healing and damage while people start posting questions. So in general, if people are at full health, you of course damage amp. The question is, when do you stop damage amping and when do you swap to healing? Back ages ago in my Mercy guide, I said you want to let people drop, and this is mostly in 1 versus 1 sort of situations, or 2 versus 1 because it's Mercy plus something. Let them drop to about 100 hit points, then start healing them up. Just because there's this concept I call absolute safety, which is until a person is in one-shot territory, they don't technically need healing. And the point when someone is at their safest is when the enemy is dead. Okay? So as when the enemy is dead, you can take all the time in the world to heal them up. If you can get the enemy dead faster, that's good. But you want to do it in a position where you are not jeopardizing the safety of the person you are healing. So, what does that mean? Like, this is kind of getting very, very in-depth into the topic, and I recommend going and watching Easy to Learn Mercy, which has all of this in it. And still pretty, you know, on point. ASL, you do off-colored, stop asking ASL. You've already got enough, like, Overwatch streamers in your back pocket, Sugar Mama Overwatch. Sugar Mama... Just Sugar Mama in general. Like, you don't need more people. You don't need more people. Anyway. So what you want to do is think, how much damage can this person realistically take before healing them up becomes too difficult to keep them alive? In the case of, for example, when it's a Pharah flying around in the air and then in the middle of the open, I play very, very conservatively. I will start healing them pretty much the second they take damage because I know that they can suddenly take a huge amount of damage because they're exposed, open in the air, easy to kill. If they're on the ground behind some cover, then I'm generally a little bit more conservative with it. While they're firing, I'll just keep damage dealing, and when they stop to reload, I'll heal them back up. For example, if it's a Soldier 76. You want to be sort of thinking very, very carefully about how much damage is coming in, how much of that is likely to hit the target, and then you use that frame of reference to figure out how much can you get away with the damage amp. That sounds really complicated, and it kind of is. It takes practice to learn it, but start experimenting with the damage amp a little bit more. Don't be afraid to let people drop slightly and then heal them back. And yeah, just work with that. Okay. Let's see. Toggle Guardian Angel on or off. What do you think? I use toggle with Guardian Angel. So I basically, with toggle, at least I believe this is how it works, is you press shift once to fly, and then you press shift again if you want to cancel it. That's how I play with it. I play with it purely because back in the beta, like, well, pretty much all the beta, I think, actually, Mercy couldn't toggle Guardian Angel. That's actually a new thing, and so I'm just used to the one press Guardian Angels. If I swap off toggle, I'd be not used to it at all. I do recommend, by the way, do not use toggle beam for Mercy. Use hold down, because what hold down lets you do is if you're holding down left mouse button and then you hold right mouse button and let go of left mouse button, you will swap to damage without breaking the beam. When you're using like toggle beam, because you just left click once, when you right click to swap to damage, it can reprioritize a target. It can change target of the beam. So don't use toggle beam. What are your top 3 priorities for Mercy? Building res, topping off people who might be difficult to top off. So stuff like, it varies depending on like what other supports we have, but if we're running Mercy Ana, which is like a defensive lineup in my mind, my priority would be let Ana worry about dealing with the tanks unless the tanks get dangerously low. Keep alive our DPS, keep Ana alive. Actually, Ana alive is probably priority 1. DPS alive, priority 2. Build res, and then when I have res, stay alive, and probably use tempo reses. Like, I'm a big fan of tempo reses. I'm not very good at the big 5-man securing reses. And I say tempo reses, and I'll explain tempo reses in a second, because I saw a question about it. But, you know, wait for 1 or 2 deaths and then pick them back up. Especially if a tank or something goes down, because then you consider that res as like a 500 hit point heal, or like a 2,500 hit point heal in the case of a Reinhardt. The big, whacking great big heal makes a huge impact on bringing people back up. When there's a Pharah-Mercy combo, as a hit scan, it's best to focus the Mercy or the Pharah. The Mercy, if she's exposed, the reason is simple. It's very, very hard to kill a Pharah with the Mercy healing her. Especially at like medium to long range. Even at Soldier 76, you will struggle doing it unless you're a Widowmaker with a shitload of burst, and even then, you will struggle finishing her off. As long as you are landing damage onto Mercy every single second, you will not start regenerating. You can pick her down, whittle her down. Trying to kill the Pharah only if you can do it safely, and only if you know you can kill her and burst her down very quickly. If you can't do that, Mercy is the better target. You want to force Mercy away from the Pharah, get Mercy away from her, and then you can get rid of the Pharah.
Ah, thanks, loves.
Wait, we've got another one. Oh my god, look at this name. Look at this name, and I can't actually scroll down to see the punctuation of it. Rodney, oh god, I'll get to you in a second, Rodney. I'll get to you in a second. I'll say your full name, because I like saying your full names. At what point should a Mercy start hiding for a res? When you have one, when you know that the enemy push is coming, that's when you start hiding. And I am terrible at this, by the way. When I play Mercy, I play a very, very ambitious Mercy, let's say, putting it politely, and it's shit at higher levels, and I'm terrible for that. But you actually really want to hide, and don't be tempted to just like use your damage amp beam and leave it connected. You want to give the enemy team no goddamn clue where you are. You want them to not know, because if they know, then you're going to end up with situations where like a Genji dives the backline, draws his Dragon Blade, kills you first because he knows exactly where you are, goes straight for you, you're isolated on your own, you get killed. Feels bad, man. It's a bit harder to do in this meta because there's less diving power in this meta. So you can take 1 or 2 more liberties, but if they have a Genji, for example, or even like a Pharah, stuff that can get to you very aggressively, then you want to be a little bit more careful. But when you have res, make sure your team knows as well and say, guys, I'm going to be hiding. I've got res, fight and die on point. And yeah, like you want to be sure that the team knows, and the team is playing accordingly. When your Mercy has a res, fight and die on the point. Survival does not fucking matter. You dying at the same time as everybody else is a very, very good thing. You want to all be dying at the same time. If people start dying, try and die, because you're instantly going to get healed back to full. Super high priority. Ice cream, etc. What Well, Mercy's got, Mercy's going to be something like bright and refreshing, like Mercy would also be very healthy. She'd be like a Greek yogurt, like a strawberry and cream Greek yogurt, you know. Then it's like white as well, with the white blonde and the white outfit and white and red because it's Swiss and healthy and all that stuff. Anna would be something like, like one of those sort of an ice cream with like walnut in it and stuff like that, like one of these very rich, tasty ice creams. That'll be Anna. And the 4 healing supports are there any combos you feel work better than others, or any you feel are bad. I've never been a big fan of Zenyatta plus Lucio, just because I think your healing output overall is very low. It's very easy to get overwhelmed on that. So I've never been a big fan of it, even though teams ran it for a while. I think, especially in the current meta where burst damage is so big, it's just not as strong. With Zenyatta, if you're running Zenyatta in a comp like that, you'll have to be running a very aggressive comp. The only time you run Zenyatta plus Lucio is if you're running a dive comp that's super, super aggro and not intending to take much damage. If you're defending, definitely don't run that. Otherwise, I think they all kind of work. Like, they all have their own uses, basically. Like, just right now, like, Anna is so good that there's basically no reason never not to run her unless you have no one that can play Anna very well. Pharah-Mercy were music genres, what would they be? Oh God, I'm not... No more. When do you think it's a good time to halt all healing, wait for a res? When you have a res up and you know that the enemy team is pushing. Find somewhere to hide that is safe, and yeah. How do you determine which supports to run during team building phase? So in the current meta, it's actually pretty simple. You run Anna. Oh God, there's even more people. Bulletproof Paper, welcome to the many. At least you got a name that's easy to say. I'm sorry. I'm still gonna get to Rodney. Poor Rodney. Oh God. But basically, what type of team lineup am I running? If it's something really aggressive, then you've got to have a Lucio. If it's something like super aggressive, then you can run Lucio Zenyatta, for example. Like a Genji works very well with Zenyatta. That kind of thing. You got to just sort of have the goal of the team in mind. If you want more sort of enduring long-term fights, then you see the problem with the meta right now is it's very hard to come up with reasons why you wouldn't run Lucio plus Anna, because I think that's the most flexible and that fits into the most team lineups and is the easiest to play. I'd say the times you run Mercy is if you've got a Pharah and you're using it very aggressively. And even then, like on defense, I say you run Pharah plus Anna, just because Anna is so good. Anna is so good. She's too good. You want to be running Lucio using an attack just because you gotta have that speed boost. Otherwise, it comes down to personal preference. Also, if like they're running tank heavy and not doing a very good job of maximizing the effectiveness of that, or especially if they have like a Winston, for example, that's causing a lot of problems, or a Pharah that's causing a lot of problems, then Zenyatta could be brought into the fold a little bit, just to sort of stop them getting away with as much stuff and just killing stuff. Could Anna be scoping at all? Yes. I mentioned this earlier on, but basically my priority list for Anna scoping, you want to be unscoped and hitting things unless A, there is a target 3 miles from you, and if B is true. B, if you are safe. Because the problem with scoping in is that you slow down and you're very predictable in your motion, you're very, very easy to kill. So the question I always have before I scope is, am I safe? And if I'm scoping when I'm unsafe, it's usually as like a trade mechanism where I'm trying to heal something that's going to do something that's going to win us a fight, even if I die. The only time you're scoping in is when you feel safe and are able to, and you need the guaranteed healing instantly. There's a bunch of opportunities when that happens. When a team fight's happening and you're nice and sort of tucked into the back, don't be afraid to scope in, shoot, unscope, look around you. Because the last thing you want to do is become unaware of your surroundings and get flanked by something, get killed by something, get picked off by something. So you always want to be trying to keep, maintain your surroundings. And you honestly only need to fire like 4 or 5 heal darts before you generally need to unscope anyway. So just the reason why in the first Coaching the Many I was very down on scoping is because the number one mistake I see Annas make is they tunnel vision, they scope in, and then they end up sort of just slowly walking around, shuffling around like an old grandma, like you are. You're shuffling about, and then you just end up in the middle of the street and a car runs over you, which is like a Reinhardt in this case, because you're not paying fucking attention because you're too busy scoping in, trying to shoot the Genji 3 miles in the backline for no reason at all. You lose any perspective on your surroundings. It feels bad, man. Would you prioritize healing tanks or DPS? As Anna, prioritize healing tanks. As Mercy, prioritize healing DPS. Leave Anna to deal with the tanks. She can burst heal them faster. She can solve it faster. Unless the tanks drop dangerously low, in which case as Mercy, feel free to go and prop them up. Because keeping tanks alive will help keep the rest of your team alive, makes your job easier. Don't let the tanks die unless you have a res, then in which case, fuck it, let them all die. Then you pick them up. And if it's like a Roadhog, a Reinhardt, and a D.Va, then you've just healed for, what, 1,700 hit points plus? Yeah, it's pretty good. Thoughts on Mercy Genji shipping? No. It's a massive breach as well of doctor-patient ethics. Did not happen. No. Mercy, your responsibilities, woman. There we go. Rodney Crittendon. Welcome. Thank you so much for your support, my man. Sorry, it's very hard because I only saw your name in block capital, so I didn't know how to say your name. Feels bad, man. This applies to Anna, but when several members of your team are in a single spot, how would you hit the right target in the cluster? I talked about this on the first Coaching the Many video a lot, which is being very careful when you position. So, for example, I'm going to just go Twitch chat away for a second while I go and find this point in the video. It's going to be too hard to find. There's a couple of instances of it. I think it's mostly when we're on attack, which is now. And we get to about here. And I just want to show you guys this specific example and then talk about Anna. I like talking about Anna. Not here yet. A little bit further forward, I think. Maybe about here. Well, we wait for YouTube to load. Yeah, it's about here.
I have my ult.
Okay. You see a little bit further back. Because we end up in instances like this, okay? Where this Anna is going to really struggle to heal at this point. This is why it's so important to get the payload through this choke point, by the way. Because Anna is in like no position. You often end up with teams like crushing, like here, for example. With Anna, you've got to keep in mind you want to have line of sight on every member of your team and treat the members of your team as a wall. So if your team is lined up like so, you want to be behind them, like back here. Okay? If they're lined up like so, you don't want to be over here, because then this fucker over here is just going to die. Right? That's how you... So you want to avoid like being in a position where they're going to be clumped anyway. If they are clumped, like if everyone's just in a big fucking fight and a scrap, lob a heal grenade in and let God sort them out. Like, then it becomes their problem. If everyone's just in a big cluster loving, not your problem. Don't be tempted to just try and run in and like go and nuzzle the Reinhardt while he's getting clobbered by another Reinhardt, because then that Reinhardt's just going to go, ooh, 2 free kills. Clonk, 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 clonk. You're all dead. Like, don't do that. Don't, like, over-prioritize it. Lob a heal grenade in, land healing on the target you can. If they just end up out of line of sight of you, that's honestly their problem. Just make sure that you are putting yourself in the optimal position where you can see as many of them as possible, but don't compromise your own safety to do so, because you staying alive means everyone else stays alive so much, because, hey, Anna heals for a fucking shitload. Okay. That's my answer to that one. There we go. We're on it on that one. Beautiful. Oh, look at all the scrub hype. Oh. What changes would you like to see Blizzard make to Mercy in the future, if any? None, really. Honestly, I think the buff she got very recently to start regenerating her heal after 1 second, that honestly feels too powerful to me. Like, it's very hard to kill her now. If she slips away from you for a second or two, she's already healed back up to full. She's crazy like that. Infrared, you friggin' lunatic. Let's see. Once you use Anna's nade for the debuff rather than keeping it on your team, Zenalt is obvious. If you can hit the entire enemy team with it, it's A++. Oh god, Dr. Wubenstein. That's a beautiful name. Dr. Wubenstein, welcome to the many. Thank you for all the support, guys. Really does make a big, big difference. Okay. So you use it as a debuff. Like, if you can hit 3 of the enemy team, honestly, it's better than like providing bonus healing on your own team. Cutting off their healing just can set you up for free kills. The best way to use Anna's grenade is pretty simple. Usually there's a Reinhardt barrier blocking you, right? So usually that's happening. Aim at a wall behind him. It's just like trying to lob Pharah's rockets in. You know, you want to be aiming for the wall behind Reinhardt. Don't aim for the barrier or anything like that. And you'll be surprised how many times Reinhardts will stand with their backs near walls and you could just lob it over. Lijiang Control Center is the example I always give, because you have like this, Lijiang is like circle, crescent, right? And you usually see teams go up into the middle crescent. And when they do, they push through the door. When they do that, the amount of Reinhardts that push all the way in, and you could just toss a grenade up and over them, you can hit the entire enemy team. And when you do, you just instantly won the fight. Because your team can heal, theirs can't. You just engage hard, you kill everything and win. So the second you can see an opportunity to sort of start landing a ton of damage out, then sure. If you can hit a bunch of your own team, they're starting to dip a bit low, that's when you prioritize using it on your own team, because that will just keep everyone alive and keep everyone nice and safe. Especially if you have a Lucio. Did you run Mercy if you already have a Symmetra? Ideally, you want to run Ana Symmetra if you're running like just 2 supports. Just because Ana has higher healing output, and that's what you really want on that single healer, is just a shitload of healing output. Otherwise, if you don't have someone confident enough on Ana to solo heal, Mercy is the next best choice. Because she does put out like the next most healing. She can direct the healing where it's needed most at the time. Res acts as an extra safety net, especially if the Symmetra uses a shield generator. Res will just keep you in that much longer. The only problem with running Mercy plus Symmetra is like the ultimates fight each other, where one of them wants everyone to die quickly, one of them wants people to sort of die slowly one by one, so you're getting just a trickle of reinforcements faster than what the enemy team is getting. So you do get sort of a bit of a counterintuitiveness where you both kind of want people to die, but then you both give benefits to people dying. You don't get full value out of both of you, perhaps. But yeah, I generally say like run Ana Symmetra. If you aren't confident enough, fine. Mercy Symmetra is good enough. Is there space for an E ability on Mercy, and what ability would you want? I don't think she needs anything else. I think she's perfectly fine. Like, her kid is already very powerful. Like, when Mercy was in the meta, when she had the 50% damage amp, that's why she was in the meta for so long. And Res is just incredibly strong. Like, whenever Mercy's in the meta, she feels incredibly powerful. I just think that she's out of favor at the moment because Ana, this bitch here, has taken over her role in a lot. How do you deal with your team when they're trying to overextend? Very good question. With Ana, you can generally try and keep them alive, just don't go chasing after them. As long as you are safe, then you can keep them alive. This is why Ana is actually the best support for climbing, because when your team starts making mistakes, you can generally keep them alive through those mistakes, and as a result, you will win games. They will keep losing games because they keep making mistakes, but you aren't, so you'll get better teammates eventually who won't be overextending, and then you'll just keep climbing. With Mercy, fuck it, let him go. We saw a couple of times, for example, in this very video back here. There was this point about back here-ish when we were defending. I can actually find the exact moment when the Mercy just horrifically overextends and should have died. I think it's right here. Yep. Right here.
I'll try taking out that Mercy.
Why Mercy is trying to save this Reinhardt? I have no goddamn idea why this Mercy is coming out here. She should be dead immediately. This diva should be going, ho ho ho, free kill, no mercy, no rest to worry about, easiest win of our lives, lads, easy. This is ridiculous. This guy's overextended. Fuck him. It's his fault. He's done it. No reason to get yourself killed. You might be able to pick him up with a res later, maybe, but his corpse is going to be in a stupid place anyway. He should be protecting his team, not charging all the way over here where he can just get surrounded and killed instantly. That's his problem. Part of playing Mercy is knowing when to let people go. Let him go. I'm a level 27, brought the game a week ago. I'm following everything Overwatch. When is it good for you to start playing comp? If you don't care that much about your rank, just start playing comp. Get a feel for it. Otherwise, find a couple of heroes that you feel confident on, feel comfortable with. And if you don't feel comfortable on any heroes at the moment, just keep playing quick play until you are. Definitely have like a hero across every role. So, like tank, I recommend Reinhardt. Like I still hold that Reinhardt is a hero that everybody should be able to play on some level. Simply because that gives you understanding of enemy Reinhardts, and that gives you a huge advantage. After that, have a DPS you can play. And right now I recommend one that's probably in meta as well. So like Soldier would be just a very good pick. And then have a support you can play as well. Mercy, Lucio. Lucio is never a bad choice. So yeah, favorite Ana Mercy skins. I like the white old, like the white uniformed Ana, and I like the Amber Mercy skin. I actually use the Amber Mercy skin rather than Witch Mercy. How do you get mom to like me? Make her proud. Be happy. My mom likes me because I am happy. That's what my mom wants. Unless you mean chat mom, like off-colored, in which case feed her sandwiches. That seems to work. Mercy damage boost priorities. Would you pick Soldier to get instant boosted damage over a Pharah that needs to be boosted until the rocket hit? It depends on what's safest. I'd pick Pharah in most cases, because Pharah 2 shots people with damage amp, which is huge for Pharah rather than 3 shots. Like, just think about that. 2 shots rather than 3 shots. All you have to do is land 2. So Pharah is honestly like probably the best damage amp target. Soldier is just very good though, especially if you need to sort of prioritize things, and especially if you need to stay safe, then Soldier is a good option. But in a team where you're running Soldier plus Pharah, I generally stick on the Pharah, just because it makes her so much more powerful. With Soldier, he doesn't really need the extra power. And like, with Soldier, he has to land, like I think it's 10 shots, because he does 20 damage a shot, and most people have 200 health, so that works out in my head. With damage amp, it's going to be like, what, 13, 14 shots? I haven't worked out in my head, but it's not going to like tip. It's not going to be a big tipping point there. With Pharah, you're going from 3 rockets to 2 rockets. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. So you definitely want to be prioritizing that. Okay, any other questions? Is Mercy really easy to kill because you only support the card defend themselves? No, I'd say Zenyatta is actually easier to kill. Mercy's very evasive. You have lots of targets to dash around to, and she heals herself very quickly. Warp hype, beautiful. Any more questions? If you have a sim, should you run 3 supports to make up for the reduced healing? Probably not. Just because you'll lose so much damage in doing so, especially long range damage. So many questions. I might actually have to start like cutting down on the amount of questions I take. I'm noticing questions are getting longer and longer in the videos. How do you deal with flankers? As a healer, I find that staying a few meters back is good, but it makes you slightly vulnerable since most of your team is ahead of you. As Pharah, so as Mercy, find someone to dash to. This is part of why Pharah is so good, is she gives you an escape that goes up, which is very, very safe from a lot of heroes. Like Tracer can't follow you, Genji will struggle to kill you in the air, makes you nice and safe. Otherwise, just find someone to dash to that is safer. If they're going very heavy flanker, then you start tucking into your team a little bit more. Staying around the team a little bit more. Hang around where your DPS is as well, like hang around where Soldier is, for example. Just because Soldier will then be exerting pressure around you. We saw yesterday, for example, if you go and watch the Coaching the Many Soldier 76 video, it's gone live on YouTube already. If you watch that, I talk about the fact that he likes to run around and flanking, and as a result, his supports keep dying because Reaper just runs up to them. If he's hanging around the supports more, they're not going to die as much. And that's because, you know, you just want to be tucking in with them a little bit more. Why are you such a fabulous fellow? Oh, you stop. Any tips for deciding to go full res or tempo res? It depends on whether you think you can win the fight or not. So the way you use a tempo res is if the enemy has started to blow a lot of resources to win a fight. Like if they started to use ultimates, tempo res just basically undoes the value of those ultimates. You go for a full res usually when the enemy team is good at team wiping. So if they have like a lot of Graviton Surge based team wipey kills, then it's very, very good. Especially at lower levels, the enemy team is a lot worse at confirming all the kills very quickly. Like, you'll notice most team fights at lower levels tend to end with, like, death, 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 death. And by that time, like, the first 2 people have already respawned and someone's died somewhere fucking miles away. At lower levels, don't be afraid to use tempo res a bit more aggressively. At higher levels, it's usually like death, 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 death. So in which case you go in, pick everyone up. Just make sure that your team knows about the res and is playing around the res. And if your Mercy has a res, for the love of God, again, fight around the point. Be confident about dying until Mercy says, oh shit, wait, I've been found, which is usually what happens to me. How much do you think Anna's upcoming nerfs will actually affect the meta? Less than people expect. It's basically my short answer to that. When should you prioritize killing an enemy than healing as Anna? Very rarely, unless there's like a Pharah kicking the living shit out of your team, in which case I generally tell my team, okay, I'm going to help deal with the Pharah, there's going to be a bit less healing. Otherwise, like, unless you know that you can get the kill, otherwise in general, just keeping people alive who can actually deal the DPS is a little bit better. But it depends on like how much trust you can put in your team as well to keep themselves alive, to play conservatively, and how much faith you have in your own abilities to land shots. Because with Anna, you're always making a choice, right? Every dart is either healing someone or hurting someone or hitting a wall. Oh, it's because I ate right before we went live, so I'm all burpy. So yeah, you generally want to be prioritizing healing until you know that, like, if everyone's topped up, then there's no reason not to start like shelling into the Reinhardt barrier a little bit or poking damage around just to keep your own ultimate charging as well. But yeah, that's basically it. Like, go and watch the first Anna video. I think I talk about it a lot there. Would you recommend learning Mercy, Ana, or Lucio? Ana is definitely the best choice at the moment. Has the highest impact. So I'd definitely say go with that. Give sandwich of color. Oh god, people are giving off color sandwiches. Is nano boosting Orion still good on defense, or better nano boosting a DPS with the ult? On defense, it's actually very good because the enemy team has to run into you, and if they're running into a Reinhardt who's like glowing like a fucking Super Saiyan, they can't do anything anymore. If you are nano boosting a Reinhardt, the best time to nano boost a Reinhardt is when he's already caught someone with a charge, and you nano boost him while he's charging, because then when they go boom and hit a wall, he gets the bonus damage, he'll probably get a kill on whatever he's on, and be in the enemy team shelling out tons of damage. Nano boosting Reinhardt isn't a bad idea when there's a big brawl happening, but if you're just advancing in, then you want to put it on like Soldier, for example. Soldier's definitely just a very solid choice. Or Genji, something that can actually get to the enemy team or just deal damage from a long range. Seek high ground as Ana. Stay behind your team more as Ana. If you're on high ground and there's nothing protecting you, then the enemy team's just going to snipe you off and kill you. And you don't want to die. Would you ever go Ana or Zen for comp games? Ana and Zen for comp games. Been running it at 3.9 and it's been working so far. Yeah, it can definitely work. Like, again, Ana supplements Zenyatta's healing. Zen helps deal with the tanks and gives you nice focus fire. Like, Ana plus Zen works very well. Ana plus anything works very well. And especially, like, even as an offensive option, even on King of the Hill, actually, I've played Ana plus Zen. It works incredibly well. Like, Zenyatta's just a good hero. It's just that Ana just overshadows everything, and speed boost remains powerful. Very, very powerful. And engaging without speed boost when you're on the offense is very, very hard. On defense, it's perfectly fine. Zenyatta's got a great ultimate. It's all very, very good. It just depends on what your team's comfortable with. Does playing as Ana also make you better at aiming with an offense hero like McCree? It's actually made my Widowmaker worse. Because when you hit with Ana, it does not hit with other heroes. Like, it doesn't count as a hit. So, yeah. I'm not sure on that, to be honest. So it was 100,000 for a strip stream? Yes, it was. Have you considered 3 videos for each coaching the many? That's probably what's going to happen to this video, because we've been spending like 20 minutes already on it. So I think that's where we're going to stop for now. I think this last section is all going to be questions, because we spent ages on questions. And honestly, I don't mind answering them, but I think I need to start cutting it down a little bit. It's good. It's good because it's a sign that you guys are engaged and the show's popular. Anyway, let's wrap that up. Hello, Fix Lucio. Let's leave that for another time when we talk about Lucio more. So before I forget, we can just do this. So if you want to send your footage in to Coaching the Many, send it to oamreviews@gmail.com. Include the hero name and the rank it was at in the title. So, you know, something like this. Pharah-Mercy, 1.9k. That's all I need to know. If you are a subscriber, Twitch subscriber, important. If you're a Twitch subscriber, make sure to mention that in the title as well. In the body, put a link to the YouTube video where you've uploaded it, so you're going to have to record it yourself, use OBS, Shadowplay, whatever. There's plenty of guides online. It won't really help you troubleshoot that. There's just too much to do with that. But yeah, send it in, put in a little bit of a comment about, you know, what you wanted. So this guy just said, you know, I didn't feel that my positioning was very good. It was fine in my opinion. And cooldown reload management as well. I didn't really talk about reload management, but honestly, it's not too big of a problem. Reloading is always a tricky thing with Ana. I'd say you just need to, like, calm down, relax, and understand that your sleep darts can be a sure thing more, especially for this guy. The sleep darts was a big thing I noticed. Just relax. You know where Reinhardt's going. Get used to the motion of tracking it. Take your time with it, and you'll find that they just land that much more. You seem to panic a little bit when you have to sleep dart stuff. Don't worry about that. And yeah, remember to subscribe and join us on Twitch at 10 p.m. GMT on Friday and Saturday, where these are recorded live. Come ask questions, hang out with the chat. The chat has a good time while I waffle on about Overwatch. Yeah, thanks for watching to the end. Toodles.